All right, looks good here. Welcome. I forgot my glasses, so I'm doing a little bit of guesswork here. Welcome everyone on TikTok. Sorry I'm so crooked. The cats got into everything. Everything that was up on the table here was like all over the floor. The cameras were all crooked today, so doing the best I can. They had a party with my setup in the night at some point here. So welcome everyone again on TikTok. Good to see you guys. If you could drop a comment letting me know that you can hear me and see me all right, that would be helpful. Welcome everyone on Instagram. You're also a little bit crooked. Sorry. If you could drop me a comment, let me know you can hear and see me all right. And same thing here for YouTube and Facebook. Everything looks good. Other than that, all right, a couple of quick announcements before we get into this today. We are seeing the producers getting a bit overwhelmed during and before these shows, even sometimes after lately, because you guys aren't doing a couple things I need you to do. So let's review how this works. First of all, if you are a YouTube member, you now automatically get moved up to the front of the line. That does not mean that you're getting a free show, because we already do with the YouTube members a monthly exclusive Ask Ivy show. Okay, that is part of your membership. So that's not what this is for you. What this means is that if you are a member, and if you want to become a YouTube member, you can go onto YouTube at Ask Ivy and hit the join button to look at your different tiers of options. But if you're a YouTube member and you purchase your question, you submit your question, you get moved up to the front of the line. All right. So we also need, and this is where the majority of you are coming in, I need you guys to start submitting your questions when you make your payments. So you have a bunch of different options for where you can make your payments. That's always up here on the screen on YouTube at Ask Ivy. You can see that $5 gets you your short answer and $10 gets you a longer answer. You can go to Venmo, you can go to Cash App, you can go to PayPal. You can do it right here on YouTube. You can do both. Okay, but when you make your payment, you need to submit your question at that time. That would be best. This way, you're not waiting. You don't have to do it from the feed. You know, my producers don't have to sort of hunt you down. So again, on YouTube, you can do both at once. Okay, and it'll pop right up. But you could do your payment and question submission simultaneously, and that would be best on these other platforms. Okay, then we move it over here for you, so you don't have to resubmit. All right, now also we're having some issues. This is a big one, and I understand why you guys aren't thinking of this, but when you keep posting, I made a payment, I made a payment, I made a payment, we don't have any proof of that, because if your payment name does not look anything at all like your social media profile name, we don't know that those two things are connected. All right. Psychic or not, I'm not the one behind the scenes doing this. So the thing is, if you have, say your name is like Jesse Jones and your profile pic is XYBC with a cat face on it, I have no way of knowing, okay, that those two things are both you. So be mindful that when you submit your question, wherever you made your payment, you should also submit your social media name if it is entirely different than your payment name. All right. And you guys can also do that in the comment feed. So if you're dropping your question in the comment feed and your payment is a totally different name, be like, let the producer know this is my payment name. I did make a payment. Okay. So what do I need? I need proof of your payment. I need the names of where you are, what your payment is connected to, and we need your actual question. You have to submit it somewhere. Okay. So let's try to be more mindful of that, and I think things will move a bit faster. All right, a couple quick announcements before we get into your questions. And if this is your first time here, you can go ahead. $5 gets you the short answer, $10 gets you the long answer. This is the Ask Ivy Show, where I'm taking all of your personal questions, anything goes, and delivering out messages from spirit. So you can start submitting those now. If you want to know what to expect in 2024, my annual end of the year show with Christina Del Rey, our astrologer, is coming up on the 28th of December at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be back here on all platforms. We do break down each zodiac sign. And this year we're doing something different. We are taking questions. So you can submit $10 and you can ask whatever question you want. Okay. And she'll answer for, about a minute, minute and a half, and then I'll go and answer for you. So I'm super excited about that. This is a hit show. Everybody loves it. And I do break up these horoscopes and use the videos throughout the year. So check it out. Join us. Again, that's the 28th. We also have coming up, actually expires on New Year's Day. So 10% off. So the holiday sale, the holiday special that I'm running is 10% off all courses. So through the Ivy League Psychic Academy Roots Revival Interfaith, we do have Christina Del Rey's The Big Three astrology course, knowing your sun, your moon, your rising. Okay, the basics to be able to start doing charts. Then we have Christina Del Rey's The Art of Tarot, training you in the traditional method of using the cards, as well as the intuitive method, which means you won't get stuck using a tool. It will help you to elevate into mediumship. My psychic mediumship course, also, that's a huge deal. Okay. That's 10% off. Reiki training, levels 1, 2, as well as masters, and reverendship and ordination training. Okay, so if you want to become a reverend with Roots Revival Interfaith, you can become ordained through us, but I also train you in how to actually perform these ceremonies if you plan to go out and start ministering. How do you officiate a wedding? How do you perform a baptism or a funeral? I'm going to show you how to do all of that. All right, we also have coming up, and there is a code for that, right? There is a code for the sale. So I know I've been posting that on my social media. We can also, Mary, if you have it available, post it here. If you guys need the code, just reach out to me. I forgot to mention that part. So if you're looking for a holiday gift idea, you can get gift certificates with me or through Ivy League Psychic Academy for classes, as well as healings and events. Go to IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com to get your certificates. If you guys are looking for a great gift idea. Okay. We also have reverendship, ordination, and training available now through video download. So if you guys missed the training that we did in November, you can not only get certified and ordained, but you can be trained in how to perform these ceremonies now through video. So that's listed up there with the other classes up on the website. If you are interested in becoming a spiritual life coach, this is the last announcement today, I believe. You can check this out. Registration is now open in a 6-week training from March 21st to April 25th. And this will allow you to give counsel to people and be of service to others without it having to be as draining and complex as a reading, like a psychic mediumship reading or a tarot reading can be, and without it being as sort of detached as Reiki or other types of energy work can be. I find that most of my students are very, very passionate about giving readings, and they're very passionate and invested in their Reiki practices, but it always seems to them like something is missing. And I think it's this. So if you want to become a spiritual life coach, check it out. Get registered with us through Roots Revival Interfaith. Okay. IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com to book a reading or a party, anything else. It's all up there. All right. Also, anything you get certified in through the Academy or Roots Revival, you have lifelong work opportunities here through Ivy's Healing Call Center, Ivy League Psychic Fairs, and a ton of other great opportunities. So we have a few questions coming in. I just want to announce one more time before we go ahead and get started that I need you guys to do a couple things. All right. So if you are a YouTube member, you are now going to get moved up to the front of the line if you purchase and submit your question on live shows, which is awesome. If you want to become a YouTube member at Ask Ivy, you can hit the join button to see what your options are. Also, if you guys submitted a payment, you should have submitted your question at that time. If you didn't do so now. If we don't have a question for you, we're not going to hunt you down. It's up to you to drop your question. Also, if you have a completely different social media profile name compared to the payment you made, you need to let us know that that's you, or we're not going to connect the dots there. All right. So welcome everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk. This is my Ask Ivy show where I take your personal questions and I deliver out messages from spirit. If everybody could, please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. It helps me out in the algorithm, and subscribe. If you are asking about somebody else, like, I'm not sure if I should stay in this relationship, or I want to hear from my grandmother who passed away, include the first name of whoever it is that you're referring to. Right. I think we're ready to go ahead and get started. Who do we want to go to first? Mary, my beautiful producer, is going to be taking all your questions. So we have a $10 from Edgar. So Edgar says, what messages does Spirit have for me in the first 3 months of 2024? Okay, Edgar, 2024, first 3 months. I feel like it's really going to be nose to the grind time, but more than like nose to the grind, which to me always suggests that you're focusing a lot mentally. You're focusing a lot, almost like spiritually and energetically and emotionally. I see you more with like a pickaxe, taking it to the stone, taking it to the rock, laying down the tracks for the train to come through town. And that is more physical exertion. That is about having enough stamina, taking care of your body, sleeping enough, eating the right foods, making sure you're exercising, making sure also in this case that you're protecting yourself in a bubble from stress. So it could be outside stressors. The holidays can, irritate this, especially if you have a lot of family, or just being out on the streets and dealing with everyone in that hustle bustle mode. But I don't think it's just others outside of you. I also think it's you. And I think it's the way you think. I think that you need to change your inner dialogue to reduce your stress. So be careful that you're not hammering yourself. Okay. Be careful you're not asking yourself the same questions over and over and over again, or trying to improve upon things, or allowing your mind to kind of run away, without you. I think it's about control through your mental state. And that's how you're going to see the greatest amount of prosperity. I think that you could also have, I have fluttering heart, almost a sense of butterflies coming in to the heart. There could be someone that you're feeling drawn to, attracted to in a romantic way. I'm seeing 2, so this could be February. And this could end up bringing some deep conversation where you're realizing that reaching a heightened level of intimacy with someone is not necessarily going out on a date or like having your first kiss or a sexual encounter or anything like that. Reaching a deeper level of intimacy with someone can happen through a simple exchange and conversation where one person finally feels confident enough to share a joke or an idea with you, or something that they've been processing and they haven't been able to maybe find answers to, especially emotionally. And I see this exchange going on. And I think it's important because you could very well walk away and be like, that was nice. I want more. That was nice. I want this person. That was nice. I wonder how to get it from A to B. No. We're going to really embrace what just happened. And we're going to allow that connection to sort of evolve. Okay. So the more you give something attention, the more you feed it, the bigger it gets. So it's not what's next. How do I get more? Onto the right? Following. No, 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 no. Slow it down. Okay, Edgar, thank you so much. Enjoy the first 3 months of 2024. That's a great question. If you guys have you're not sure what question you want to ask, that's a great model. What's our next one, Mary? So we have a Layana, $10. And let's see. Layana wants to know, is the baby in spirit still planning to come soon? Okay. I think so. I mean, I don't know if your definition of soon matches this kid's definition of soon or my definition of soon per se. And what I mean by that is probably not. Okay. But I keep hearing two. And so if this is something you're interested in doing in the next 2 months, it's possible. If you're looking at doing this within the next 2 years, you're open to this a little more fluidly, especially around like 9 months out from now. I think yes, absolutely. This is a child, though. I am going to be totally honest and not sugarcoat this. This is a child who can make a lot of decisions and then back out of decisions and then perfect those decisions. Sometimes this child makes almost an identical decision, and we could have just gone with the first route. Okay. So, sometimes people are a little bit picky, even to a point of being nitpicky on detail. And this is something that's going to profit this child in life, and we definitely want to embrace it. You definitely want to encourage this child to, that's right, examine every opportunity, look at things from all angles, think outside the box. That's wonderful. However, there is such a thing as overthinking, and it can turn very easily into procrastination or being double-minded and backing out, okay, of what you should have already done. So circumstances are not always perfect, and that's often okay to move forward in that imperfect environment regardless. And I can't do a whole lot in communicating with this child to convince them otherwise. There may be some Virgo in the chart there somewhere, or Capricorn. Okay. I can't do a whole lot to convince them otherwise. So what you're really going to want to do with a child like this is understand that the kid contract, as I call it, is a very real thing. Children decide who their parents are going to be. They decide what they're going to do when they come to earth. They decide when they're going to do it. And if we don't abide by their contract, we have no hope of bringing them through. It has nothing to do with what you want to do. It has nothing to do with whether or not all of your ducks are in a row, or who you choose. I finally found a love partner I want to do this with. Let's go ahead and do it. That is not relevant at all. This child dictates through the contract when they come. So again, in a case like this, what I think you ought to be doing is looking at all those twos that I mentioned, 2 months. We're looking at over the course of the next 2 years. I would even be open to it and look at the next 2 weeks. And you really want to try to be as available as you can to do it during that time. So yes. Okay. But again, I don't think that's exactly the way you're thinking of it. Right, so take this into consideration. Good luck with all of that, Layana. All right, we have another question coming in here, $10 from a siren, Nicole. So she wants to know, and this is from TikTok. Hey, everybody on TikTok. I need insight on recurrent nightmares that are apocalyptic involving violent, large bodies of water. Yes. So I put out a couple videos on this in the last, I want to say 2 years, because so many of us intuitives, and even a bunch of people who didn't know that they were intuitive, it often starts with prophecy and it often begins at night. So not like daytime trance-like visions, but more like nighttime through dreams that are technically prophecy. And when this increases, it can really start in this particular area where we're looking at apocalyptic type scenes, because we are in a particular time in the world where we are dealing with an end of a cycle, or we could say end times and the revolution. So the new world being created. And when that happens, it does look like a war zone, very apocalyptic. It is not only happening with the environment, so you would see it happening with nature. sort of like the idea of climate change. You would see violent waters. You could also see waters drying up in your dreams. And then a lot of it is also gunfire, it's bombs, it's dilapidation of entire states and sections of the earth. And what we want to remember, that the most common thing with all of these dreams, there is a common thread, and it is that there is fire over here, and then we are running and hiding in bodies of water to try to get away. Now, we already saw this in Hawaii just a couple months ago, literally on film. People were filming it. That is what we've all been seeing, right? But I'm not saying that what we're seeing is the incident in Hawaii. I'm saying we're seeing it over and over and over again, getting bigger and more common, and that it's often a form of escape, which can also be positive. So, in summation, Nicole, okay, what you may be looking at is being in violent bodies of water, but it is actually a point of rescue. You're salvaging your life by being way too close for comfort in those waters, but it's better than fire, okay? It's a way to hide. Some of the times, though, what you're seeing is it coming and cleansing. And we have been seeing an increase with violent waters coming and cleansing. This is a natural part of the apocalyptic process, the new world being built, the revolution, right? Mother Earth is spitting us back out. She doesn't like the taste. So I don't blame her. And that's what we earned. So what do we do about it? Well, we know darn well what we were supposed to be doing about it all these years, right? I was a huge environmentalist in the 90s when I was a teenager, and I really thought change would come. Sad to see it didn't. We know exactly what we need to do. Push for change on a larger scale, okay, in a legal way, so that there are penalties if people don't abide by the laws to protect our environment, to protect each other, to live in harmony. Other than that, fighting, you're going to have to prepare for what's coming. And I would take these dreams very seriously, in that typically in each dream, you're getting more information about how you can get smarter, how you can escape, how you can sort of use the information as a tool. Okay. I wish I had more positive news on that, but I've been talking on this for years, and a lot of us were triggered by 9/11. So if you're tuning in, you've been having apocalyptic dreams since then. That was a big starting point, because that was a tipping point. Okay. But now a lot of the things that we started to see in prophecy after 9/11 are starting to happen within even the last few months. So thank you for that question. I think that applies to a lot of people. All right. Do we have another one coming in? If you guys could, if you're tuning in late, if you could give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. I'm always trying to transfer everybody from all platforms over here onto my YouTube channel at Ask Ivy. Drop a comment. It helps me out in the algorithm. So Lisa Lopez has a $5 question, and she wants to know, what is the time frame on Alex meeting my parents and my family? All right. So I saw 3. It could be over the course of the next 3 months. That's possible, but I was even feeling the possibility of 3 weeks. So I think that what's going on here is sometimes a bit of a hesitancy, and that could be coming more from Alex. That could be a feeling of nervousness in regards to meeting them, and feeling as though maybe things are moving fast, or trying to come up with excuses so that it can't work. Here's a good way of saying this. These things are not always deliberate. Sometimes we sabotage. We self-sabotage things that could be a lot easier, get done a lot faster. Okay, we could get to the finish line a whole heck of a lot sooner. But because we're thinking about it so much, and we're putting on a nervous energy onto it, it tells the universe to respond with prevention. And we get what we ask for. The universe delivers what we ask for. So blocks and obstacles could be popping up from other people involved, from your own schedule, from Alex's world, right? That are sort of putting the kibosh on this thing. And that could come from a place of nervousness. Here's what I tell my students. If you're nervous about performing something, okay, you need to understand that the universe sees that and sees it as fear. So, what we want to do is remove ego, fear, manipulation, and control. And we want to instead say, I am open to receiving whatever this will be. And it will flow more easily. I also think that just make sure family members are also, I understand a lot of people can be really nice to your face, but they kind of have this sort of a very sharp tongue. I come from a brutal Latino family. And I tell you, people can sense that a mile away. And so just be careful that if you got people in the family who are rough, they may want to cool it. All right. And put out a more positive energy before someone brand new is coming in. Yeef. I think it's going to go great though. All right. Enjoy. Let's move on to another one. So we have a question coming in here from a chicken mama. And this is a $5 question. Chicken mama says, should I get my current car repaired or should I purchase a used one? Thank you. I feel like definitely do not get this repaired. There's a gentleman who comes in here, watches over you in a paternal way, who would have been very stingy with his spending. Okay. He was a little bit of a miser here. He would be very good also at like bargaining or like talking people down or double checking the contract, looking at the fine print, looking at how long the print in this contract lasts. Do the dates change? What's going on? He makes me feel like he's going to help you through this process. If you're looking to get something, whether it be like leased or you're looking to get something used or, a different option. But this is starting to look very much like a lemon. This may be a series of problems as well that has already started where it's like this breaks and then it's like crabgrass. I don't know. I got like 3 more problems popping up and, when does it end? He said like never ending. I think that it's also really time. It's like this car represents you and you have a strong guardian angel coming in here who's been watching over your mental and emotional well-being a little more than she normally does. And I think it's having a lot to do with your evolution and spiritual development as well. So if this car has been around a bit and you have old, stale, stagnant energy connected to that car, the things that went on in your life during that time, it's great to just get rid of that entirely. Okay. I also think that whether it be a bicycle or it be a scooter or it be, your vehicle, I think it's really important. The walkway you take to work, whatever it is, the paths that you walk on. I think it's really important to be careful about how we connect our movement in life to our mobility, our means of transport, because they're not just symbolically connected. Those are also meditational states for us when call it motion meditation. And they really are a way for us to become active in creation in the universe. It creates fluidity when we're in motion. And if it's old and it's a stale means, it's got to go just even for those reasons. Okay. So brand new, good things. All right. Thanks so much for your question. She said, poof, gone. All right. So let's see if we have any other questions coming in here. We have another one from a Delaney, and this is a $10 question. So that's going to put us in at. All right. Delaney wants to know any messages from my husband, Carlos. Okay. I'm sorry for your loss. Let me go over here with him. When he comes in, first of all, he's very stoic, sort of serene, peaceful and calm. And he comes through giving you a big hug and he holds it. You got different huggers in the world. You got your patters and you got your side huggers. You got the people who barely want you to touch them at all and you can totally feel it. Yet it's somehow loving, he just has a way of like just holding and taking his time. And I feel like sometimes you can sense him there. It's almost like too, if you are in bed, especially if you're more on the left side, you can feel him, especially on the right side, but just holding you there. And he is also smoking a cigar. Now, this does not mean that he smoked cigars. take it if it resonates, sure. But it's my symbol for celebration, a new beginning, a breakthrough. He's talking about having a lot to celebrate. Okay. So it's like, congratulations on where you're headed. And I feel like he's been giving you also a red rose coming in, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. It's also my symbol for a deep love. Okay. Beautiful red rose. But I feel like this celebration is from you picking thorns off of the roses in your life. So if you've been really struggling to let go of the past, to let go of fear, to stop worrying as much as you think positively about the future potential. He's watching you go through a breakthrough in that energy, that point, that way of being. And from this comes an overflow of prosperity. So we're probably looking at financial increase here for you. But I want to say in your resources in general, as well as opportunities coming in that could be like a job offer, a promotion, okay, different things through networking. It also seems like you're being gifted some things or given a lot. And I don't think it's just because of the holidays. I think there's, the sense of the universe taking good care of you and sort of wrapping you in loving arms because you are in breaking this cycle, taking a big step forward, really holding yourself accountable, taking responsibility for the way you think and feel and what you linger in. And it deserves big rewards. And so that's what you're getting. He also gives me the rainbow for you upon closing, which is pot of gold at the end of the rainbow after the storm, hopes and dreams coming true. But it's also the promise that God made to not send any more storms your way. All right. So I feel like this is a great time of celebration for you. There's also another female in the family he keeps an eye on and is giving love to. So give out love to everyone else as well. All right. But you'll be seeing him in your dreams probably tonight. If not tonight, I feel like tomorrow. But he's saying two. And try to write those down. Okay. Just any little encounters you guys have, jot down the details because he likes to put a lot of like hidden messages in there and symbology. Okay. He loves you very, very much. I feel like you were an incredible partner too. He just wants you to know that. All right. We are going to move on to another one. Thank you for that question. This is from Yolanda. This is a $10 question. And Yolanda wants to know anything from loved ones. So you do have a grandfather coming through. You have a grandmother coming through. There is, I want to say, a male who passed a bit before his time also coming in here. And a lady who may have had a cancerous condition who I feel passed a little bit before her time as well, watches over you in sort of a mentoring, way. And with them coming in here, I feel a bit of a collective message about being able to, I heard resolute. Okay. Resolute. Let's put it this way. When you reach a point in life where you know something either needs to end or you reach a point in life where change needs to occur, you need to just make it happen without spending too much time thinking on the details. So there is a lot of opportunity coming up for you right now. I'm hearing just around the bend, and they're coming in different ways into your life with their signs and their symbols, especially grandma through dreams. And they're giving you a heads up, not only on the change that's occurring, but also what needs to be done and when. So when we're talking about divine timing, we're talking about knowing when to make a move, not too early, not too late. And it's not complicated to learn, but it can be harder for people who overthink things, procrastinate, or have a tendency to worry about the worst potential outcome. And this is about you at this point getting all your ducks in a row in regards to the way you think about your situations and being very open and honest with yourself. You don't have to talk to anybody about this. I wouldn't. About what you're going to be letting go of and then what you're moving toward. Okay. So it's also, I feel like this is especially coming from the mentor female. It's about knowing what you want in your life and creating it. And when it's there, if you want to announce it, you've announced it. Okay. But in the meantime, it's all about you. It's a very personal relationship to yourself and spirit and the universe while you create. This could be going on for a ballpark of 3 months. I like this for you a lot. So do they. It's karmic, it's destiny charted, it's in your life contract, your Vedic and Western astrology, as well as your numerology chart. Written in the stars, destined, guaranteed, right? Cannot be manipulated. So just use your free will wisely. Thank you so much for your question, Yolanda. We have another one coming in here from a Joni. This is a $5 question. Okay, I like the way Joni did this. So Joni just says general reading. All right, general reading. So if you want a reading, you don't know what to ask. This will work. All right. So Joni, what do I get for Joni? Joni, I feel like it's time for you to play, but I also feel like you have some annoying people around you who are like pecking. You know, we can have circumstances and others, and we can love them. But if circumstances and other people, including your to-do list, including people who have weaponized incompetence, or they are not standing on their own feet, or you work with people who are simply not pulling their weight, they don't even deserve a paycheck, whatever it is. Okay. I'm not going to color this. You know what I'm referring to, and it'll become more obvious in the upcoming weeks, like 3 weeks. But you have to figure out once and for all how you're going to deal with them. Because if we keep sugarcoating it, or we keep holding space, or we keep saying it is what it is going to be what it is. It will always be what it is. It may even grow into more than what it is. Okay. So how do you stop that? How do you not feed it? Because if it is stressing you out, it deserves your time. It deserves your attention. You deserve to address it and to see if there is something more you could do about it. Because in a lot of these cases, there is. So this is some untapped territory for you. Old problems that deserve new action to be taken. And I think that if you do this, what you're really going to find at about probably a month and a half or so is that your karmic payout starts to really come in from the universe. Okay. So energy increasing, people learning boundaries. If they don't like it, they can walk away. You figuring out a lot of truths about who you are, your life, and how other people are, and how situations really are. And so it's kind of a magical time, but not without the hard work. All right. Thank you, Joni, for your question. Do we have any more coming in? All right. Just a reminder, when you guys submit your payment, also submit your question there. And if your name is totally different on your social media account from the payment name, make sure you explain that when you submit the question to my producer. All right, we have Camille Parker. This is a $5 question. So Camille wants to know any messages from loved ones, please. All right, Camille, her loved ones. You do have a grandmother who comes in here, either had a cancerous condition and or smoked. I was feeling it may be more the cancerous condition. A gentleman who comes in here, smoking as well, but I think that was literal for him. Watches over you in a paternal way. I want to say that when they come in here, there's also an uncle type who comes in, an uncle brother type who comes in, who's kind of talkative and almost distracting you from things in your life that you simply do not need to be thinking about, or you do not need to be paying attention to. You're giving it too much mind, whatever it is. He's a way of coming in and doing that. Sometimes we have someone in our life who just does a great job of like turning your head and focusing it on what's important, the bigger picture, getting you centered. And while no one can do that for us, sometimes that's all it takes is for someone to be like, look here. Forget that. Okay. So anything you're doing where you're tied up in the past, this may even be such an old habit. You're not super aware that you're doing it. I'd be more mindful of your emotions and where they go, where you let them go. But also obviously where you feel they've been taking you and keeping you stuck. Now, when these other two come in, I feel like there's some focus here on you building. This could be residency. This could be change to your residency, upgrade. This could be a different contract in regards to real estate and how exactly you're living. Going forward, you may be in a position to make some moves for the next 3 months, but this really starts peaking at about 6 months out from now. And if you've been feeling stuck, what we're talking about is a release of some circumstances. This could look like new information coming in, a new opportunity. I think keep your eyes and ears open. And when you get the opportunity to move, okay? Create that change. They will also be alerting you. This is why it's so important, you guys, to understand how the language, join my psychic mediumship course, learn the lost language. When we know how spirit communicates, we know that nothing happens in life without us already being aware that it's coming. When you know how your psychic ability speaks to you, through you, you know nothing ever takes you off guard. Okay. It's really important to be in alignment with all of this. All right. So big opportunities coming in there. That's exciting. We have another question coming in from a Jeannie. This is a $5 question. And Jeannie says, should I have married my husband? We were married in October of 23. I don't think so, but I feel like that was fairly obvious. And I get the sense that he would have done almost nothing. It feels like he doesn't do anything in the relationship, we could say. And you still somehow make excuses for that and say, oh, well, that's, I don't know, maybe you said something like, well, that's how men are. Or you said, well, sometimes there are improvements, or, buddy loves me, or he says he loves me, or something. It seems like you have a whole pocket full of just a bag of bad tricks that you gifted him. I don't understand why. You have to look at yourself. And this is a great time of learning. But he would have also, after doing nothing and not earning it, he would have then at odd times told you that he really wanted to have you in his life in that way. But then once he got you, it feels like you got dropped like a ton of bricks. This is not at all uncommon. This is strategic. This is manipulative. This is a narcissistic technique. And it's far too common. I don't recommend to anybody that they get married without making sure things like this aren't going to happen. But I also understand that sometimes you don't fully see these things until after it already happens. So he knew not to fully let the cat out of the bag until it was locked in. And what you need to focus on now is not, oh no, did I make a mistake? Forget even labeling it as a mistake, because the last thing you need is to have your energy siphoned any more than what he already has. What you need to start doing is regaining your power and figure out how you're going to get out. Just look at the future. Okay. How am I going to get out of this? And I would quickly. All right. Thank you for your question. Sorry about that. Sarah Lee, $10 question. I also just want to remind you guys, a lot of you comment later, or if you go back and you listen to this once it's published and you say, my God, I feel like what happens, during these lives is that a lot of other people's questions or messages were actually meant for me. They are. It's called collective messaging or piggybacking when spirits come through with, for multiple people. It is. All right. Sarah Lee, $10. So she wants to know, do I have any messages about the upcoming new year? I love this question. Okay. Great way for you guys to ask. Open-ended. All right. Upcoming new year, Sarah Lee, 2024. Job opportunity, work opportunity, prosperity increase, third month in. But then again, at the third quarter, we could have something as it shifts into the fourth quarter. There's also going to be an opportunity at that shift where we're looking at, and then I'm hearing November, where we're looking at a contract and you're like, whoa, do I want to renew this contract? Or it's almost like I'm negotiating, I'm getting a higher cut or percentage or a better rate or whatever it is. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that they're hiding that and that they would just slip that under the rug and hope you didn't see it, but I kind of am, I think you really have to read the fine print. So anything you want to look at closer with a magnifying glass around that time, in reference to shared income, any type of contracts, loans, anything, you're going to want to do it at that time, and don't take anyone's word for anything. It's almost like once you catch it, or you say, this is how I want it to be, there's no problem getting it. And they're like, of course, we were going to do that all along, It's like they forgot to give you the coupon code. So I feel good about all of that. I really do feel like the first half of the year, those into the 6th or 7th month, so we're looking at June and July, I feel like that entire time is going to be really heavily focused on your relationships. And this is karmic for you. So it's like a homework assignment. It's where your energy is supposed to be. Now, whenever that happens, what's also going to occur is that all kinds of blocks and obstacles and tests are going to come in to pull you away from that, okay, to prevent that from happening. So what I like to do anytime I'm going through a big karmic shift or a potential level up is I like to look at everybody who texts me at just the wrong time. I like to pay attention at any weird dramatic obstacle that pops up just when I'm feeling the most peaceful. I like to pay attention to the fine detail and see who's working with what energy out there in my circle. You know what I'm saying? It's very telling in moments like this. Who's tapping into negative? Who's tapping into high vibration. So this is going to be a period of time for you when you're supposed to focus on relationship dynamics. This is you and bad habits. This is you and your body. So that includes food, exercise, anything you're looking at doing with your health. This is also looking at you in relationship to other people. And it may become a sort of forefront, I don't want to say issue, but it may be brought to the forefront of your mind repeatedly and involuntarily. Your family dynamics and any potential generational curses. Curses are not real, but psychological programming certainly is. And any influences that have been upon you through, your own programming based on relationships. So this could also be like your relationship to society. What do you want to shed and let go of? And what is still of value in your life? So big focus there. That's going to lead to a ton of prosperity for the rest of the year, but also really going into 2025. Okay. If you could do that work. And don't let anything slip. Don't sugarcoat any of it. All right. Thank you so much for that question, Sarah Lee. Cats are taking a bath together. All right. We have another question coming in here from a Camille. So this is a $10 question. I've been trying to conceive for a while, but have not had any luck. Okay. Do you see that for me in the future? Will 2024 be my year? Will 2024 be Camille's year to conceive? I think so. I think that if you had this, just an example, I'm not saying this is how you're doing it, but let's say you had some like sperm saved up, or you had some eggs saved up, or you had like maybe some energy saved up. Okay. And you're like, okay, let's, really go at it and try the first 3 months of the year. I think there's a really high likelihood this child would be coming through somewhere between like the end of the 2nd month and the beginning of the 3rd month. Now they can make a liar out of me at any time. All right. That's up to them. They have their contract. They have free will. I can't dictate that, but I would say that this is like an 85% chance, a likelihood as of today, that's how that's going to play out. I also think there's the potential for a set of twins here. They can also make a liar out of me there. They rarely do, but it's possible they could divide up and come through as individuals. So if they divide, it could look like one pregnancy there and then another one, which would be crazy. There's a word for that. My grandmother had 2 in 1 year. I forget, what the heck is that called? Anyways, I don't know. There are a bunch of like inappropriate ethnic names, I think, connected to that. But you understand what I'm saying. It could be like it's happening here and then it's happening again, a very short period of time after. And I think that if we're looking for an ideal placement on this, we may also want to look at the 5th month. So what is that? May, right? So we may want to look at, I just saw clearing the calendar. It's like clear your calendar in May. You have grandfather coming through. You have 2 grandmothers coming through. You have another lady over here. Feels like aunt energy. And if this is something you really want to do around that time, it may be a good time for you to also focus on things like reducing your stress level. So sometimes, we can say, well, yes, this is something I really want. Okay, but you're also putting so much pressure on it, or you have such high hopes and so many fears that you're not fully addressing from different times when maybe it didn't work out, or you're afraid maybe it won't work out again, that you're kind of blocking it during that time. So I want to say that that is a really important time for you to combat that negativity and to make sure that you are really very wide open to whatever comes. Just have that attitude with these kids. If you want to, I am ready for you. I have a little nest ready for you. This is a great time if you want to do this. And I'm looking forward to it, but no pressure. Okay. And start talking. I would also say talk with them more. So, sometimes we talk to spirit in such a way where we're almost talking at them and thinking, this is nutty, or thinking, oh, it's probably just my imagination, or thinking this is a lot like talking to an imaginary friend. No, it is not at all those things. It is not those things. It is a direct dialogue, and we can have it with any spirit, and we should be having it at all times with spirit. So talk to these kids and make sure that you're explaining to them, I am doing anything you need me to do to make changes and have the setup ready for you the way you want it. And there's just no pressure. Just know I love you and I enjoy communicating with you on a regular basis. We all knew our children before they came. And even when sometimes, so sadly, we have children who pass, we continue to have a relationship with them. So it's not too late, to start that, or should I say, in this case, it's never too early, right, to start that. So have day to day dialogues with these kids. Okay. But yeah, I think 2024 is your year, and get rid of that heaviness, and that'll help a lot. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your question. We have another one coming in here from a Tinker Queen from TikTok. This is a $10, and this is a general read. All right. Love it. General read for Tinker Queen. What do we have for her? First thing I have coming in here with you is a lot of hands coming at you, and anything to the right side is the future. So it is up to your free will how you address this, but it will require your free will to address it. All right. So this is going to keep happening. A lot of hands coming at you. This symbolizes demands, people who want your attention, people who want your company, and that can be very loving. It can also be overwhelming. So when this occurs, it is occurring because you have some potential growth in that, prosperity, opportunities, if you play your hand right, especially in regards to an opportunity where like some increase may come in from work or shared resources. Okay. This could even be something, for example, if you had your money in stocks, you had your money invested in a business, this may be a calling for you to move it, or give more in that area. Could be very profitable for you, is what I'm saying. But there are other hands coming at you that are not. They are annoying. And I think that what you need to start doing is examining whether or not you're telling the world that you're available way too much, right? So 2024 for you is about cleaning this up. Once this is cleaned up, we're going to see the benefits more toward the end of the year, but really in a big way in 2026. So yeah, you have to wait on that payout, but that's fine. What we need to do here is make sure that when people are coming for your attention or situations are coming for your attention, you're not automatically giving it. One of the things that we could do to trick ourselves into thinking we have really healthy boundaries is to put up resistance and say, well, I'm not addressing that right now. No, I'm going to sit down instead and like veg out in front of the TV. Or we get a sort of depressive energy, a very heavy feel. We feel drained and exhausted and like our energy has been siphoned. And we decide to just sort of cash out for the day or cash out for a few hours. We wonder, what is wrong with me? It's almost like our higher mind's way of forcing us to do self-care, when in actuality, your boundaries weren't set very well at all. And so we are still taking on the consequences of these people and situations reaching into us, almost like we're not an observer. We are an absorber. And so examination in that area is going to be key to evolution for you, increase with your prosperity, and a nice, I'm hearing congruency here with I think everything, but your relationships need to evolve, some of them. I also think this is really going to affect you romantically. So big year in romance. And with romance, I'm really feeling like, am I receiving in the same amount? Maybe not always, maybe not every day, all day, but within the same amount, okay, that I'm giving. And if not, no, okay. And if I am, I want more of that. All right. So big rewards there in love as well. Looks like an exciting time. See some house stuff. I see some clearing out energy. Could be some movement. Okay. For sure there as well. All right. We have, I see a Valencia Stag asking, do we send questions here or on Facebook inbox? So again, for those of you tuning in a bit late, you send your question wherever you submitted your payment. Now, if you didn't do that, you could submit it here in the feed, but we have to know that your payment name matches your social media name. So let the producer know that as well. Thank you for that question. Kat Kelly has a $10 question. Okay. Hey, Jesus, get away. Come here. If the cats knock over all the cameras, it's not shocking. I will get up, I will fix them, and just bear with me in the meantime. Come here. Kat Kelly. What timing on that name? Can you tell me anything about my life contract? Okay. Love it, love it, love it. A life contract reading takes an hour. You could book them with me at any time. They match your Vedic or Western astrology as well as your numerology chart. So what I could tell you about where you are in life right now with your life contract is that you are approaching a pivotal point. You get 5 to 6 different pivotal point opportunities over the course of your entire life. That's it. So that's a major opportunity to level up, and we want to maximize every single one of them. Now, what can happen before you hit that pivotal point, that big year? That's going to come at about 3 years out from now. Is that you go through 2 years of detoxing. Nobody really enjoys the detoxing years because it's anyone and anything that has been preventing our growth has to be removed. And I like to say every time the bus stops, somebody's got to get off. In order for a new door to open, another door has to close. That's the rule. It's like saying there's a sacrifice for everything. Okay. So what you would be feeling this year is that coming. And so what you should be paying attention to right now is not everything you have to build in this brand new beginning and, oh my God, what will become of my life? Well, I could create so much right now. Yes, that's true. But first things first, what needs to go to make room for the new? And most people who fail a pivotal point do so, not because of the building years, not because of the blind faith that is required and the energy and the stamina, okay, and all the change, not because of that, but because of the detox years, because they dig in. And they decide that they've been investing in these relationships or these situations for so long, they are not going to let go. And that would be very unwise. So what happens in the year or two leading up to your detox years? Again, your detox years it's going to start next year and it's going to go that year and the following year. You should be now getting an idea, if you don't already have it, an idea of who and what needs to go. So you're going to want to lean into that. One of the ways to do that is just to be like, let it happen. Think of it like a contract. I like to think of everybody and everything like a contract. It's just like, I'm not renewing this. That's all. No biggie, no drama. Okay. Don't feed it. Let it go. I think one of the other things coming up in your life contract is a significant amount of love coming from soul mate connections, soul tribe connections. You got a little karmic stuff coming in there as well. I'm hearing 6. That'll be the June. Okay. But it could also be more toward the end of the year and then even going into 2025, January, February, maybe a little into March, where you're looking at, I feel like romance being really, really on fire. And I think that's where we're talking more the soulmate connection. With the soul tribe, we're talking about people crossing your path that you've always worked with in past lives. You work with them in your dreams. You are going to work with them in this life, but they don't ever necessarily take huge status in your life. This could be a coworker. This could be someone you occasionally do business with. This could be more like an acquaintance type, but you're building up that network. And what happens with those relationships is that they're really meaningful in that every time the two of you come together, you're creating something, you're building. It affects your prosperity in a really meaningful way. Answers and solutions and expansion come from the energy of being together. So I like this for you a lot. It's an exciting time. Enjoy. Absolutely. All right. We have another question coming in here from a Christina Hernandez. This is a $10 question. And she wants to know, do you see anything new for me coming in the first few months of 2024, like romantic relationships, career, or spirituality or spiritually? Okay. So 2024, the first few months, romantic, meh. Career, yep. Spiritually, that's always really. But you could see a psychic increase. Your psychic increase could be coming mostly through prophecy at night. So dreams, astral travel. Also, when you're driving, pay attention to little inklings that come into your head, okay? Or when you're like walking, when you're in motion, when you're in movement, pay attention to inklings that come into your head, like that's a random thought, or I bet this will happen. Start seeing your accuracy level with all of that and ask more questions of it. I tell my students, when you have a psychic inkling about anything, you should really, embrace it by feeding the information that's being presented to you, because it's not always obvious straight out of the gate. So if you were to say, okay, great, could you give me more detail on how that's going to happen? Okay, great. Can you show me when is the highest likelihood that that's going to happen? Okay, great. Is it possible that timeline can move? Oh, it can. Okay, great. Can I get more detail on that? Go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. Okay, get all the details, collect this. This could be very profitable for you. Also, very lucrative if you were to start doing anything like giving, and you may already be doing this, but whether it's like tarot readings, psychic readings, you're also really skilled in medical intuitive. This is also when you're skilled in medical intuitive. Okay. You could scan someone's body, see disease, things like this. You may also have messenger of death syndrome where you predict these types of things, including death. But we may also see that, and this is really for anybody, but if you're skilled in medical intuitive, you're automatically skilled in doing paranormal work, which not a lot of people want to do, but still, and criminal investigations, missing persons. Okay. So learn more. Okay. Hope to see you at class, but at the very least, toy around with it on your own and take it seriously. The other, what did I see? Career. So with career, yeah, I think you have some moving up to do. And that does come in pretty early in the year. So I think you asked about the first 3 months. Yeah, the first few months of the year. I'm getting a lot at the end of January, in February, at the beginning of March. Okay. I don't even know if I'm saying these months right. But anyways, it goes like the whole second month, a little bit at the tail end of the first, a little bit at the beginning of the third. And I think you may have several options presented to you. So let's just say that you were offered a promotion or something opens up at your job. You're going for it. You could also see that there are a couple openings elsewhere and you're sort of weighing your options. I like this for you. We would have to look closer. Which are the best, which lasts the longest, which leads into other opportunities down the road. I would have to break that down further. But yeah, I like it a lot for you. All right. Good luck with all of that. Have a good time. We have another question coming in from a Danielle. This is a $10 question. All right. Danielle wants to know, or says, I'm possibly moving in with my ex-boyfriend, Dylan. I have reservations due to previous failed relationships. What can you see? Well, he may have been one of the previous failed relationships. I don't like this for you. I don't need to stretch this out for 4, minutes or whatever for a $10 question. This is just an automatic no. An automatic no. I'm going to say this to you. I think that sometimes you have a way of receiving so many blessings from the universe, so much guidance, and other people feel like they don't get enough guidance at all. Okay. But you've been a little almost spoiled with guidance at times that you don't even pay attention to it. And you have seen enough of a pattern in this relationship and other relationships to know that moving in is not at all uh stable. Okay, it could be very destabilizing for you. It carries too many potential threats and too much potential negativity to be of any significant value. Now, you're smart with money. You're smart in business, right? You're smart with contracts. You're smart and you figured out other areas of your life where you are meticulous about weighing the pros and cons. You can even get downright sort of fierce about negotiating things. Why would you not do that here? If you have this skill, okay, apply it where it really, really counts. So, if we look at the potential problems that could come from this, and if you say, I've got a plan B, a plan C, a plan D to get out of this potentially negative consequence, should it happen, and you feel comfortable with that, okay. But I don't think you've done that work. I think you're just kind of going in blind and you're like, okay, do I leap or do I not leap? Don't leap. Don't leap on this one. Okay. Some feel like an uncomfortable leap for a reason. You could find that in this situation, he benefits far, far more than you do. And you could find that it's like gum on the bottom of your shoe or getting sucked into a undertow in the water. It's not that easy to get off. It's not that easy to get out. And even when people help you, it could become impossible to accept that help. And there is enough help that you've already been given. The universe has given you opportunities. You've seen patterns. You know what your gut is telling you. That's all the help you get. That's it. You either start making smart decisions on this type of thing or you're going to suffer the consequences. Okay. And I think there are ways to do it. Not that I'm encouraging you to do it, obviously, but I think there are ways to do it and have a way to get out. I've done it a couple times, rarely. Okay. Like twice. And once I was just a teenager. So that doesn't even count. Like once. I've done it once, but I knew every step along the way how I could get out of it. So when it failed, it really didn't affect me at all. Okay. So you got to be smart about these things if you're going to do it. You are not ready to do this yet. All right. But if you do, cover your back. Okay. I don't like that for you really ever. I don't know that you should ever really have someone in your home unless you are 150% positive they're contributing. One of the things they do in your relationships or you allow to happen to you is that your closed throat chakra becomes a real issue. You're either not speaking your truth or you are, and it's getting disrespected, disregarded. Not cool. Okay. You said something to somebody once and they didn't hear you. They need to go. The first red flag is the last red flag. Okay. That's it. It's not 3 strikes, you're out. First one is the last one. All right. So Daniel says, no, this is not an ex. Or I don't know. Was that even connected? Is that who I was just talking to? I feel like regardless, the message is the message. Okay. So just be careful. I also think that here's what I'm going to say about this, and this is for anybody. Sometimes we don't see things until we are in a situation where we are settled and the other person feels like, okay, now, okay, we saw a question like this earlier. Why did I not know? We're newly married. Why did I not know? Because getting married is like getting locked down for sure. Okay. So can a residency. It's right up there. So be very careful. And again, if you want to do it, just have a plan. All right. Let's clear that out. Thank you for your question. We have another question here coming in from a Teresa H. So this is a $10 question. And she wants to know, where will I be career-wise in the next 5 years? Well, that depends on you. And when we have to make a lot of changes in our career, it can be that the first couple are going to really determine how far we go ultimately. And so that just makes logical sense, right? But the first couple can also be very daunting. So try to be open minded. When I look at your life contract, what I sense here is that you have to make two really strategic moves in your career. And neither of them are falling in your lap, which means these are not destiny charted. It's not like, oh, here it comes. It's written in the stars. It cannot be manipulated. It is a 100% guarantee. It's not like that. You have to create these. Now, because it's right for you to do, the universe is supporting it. So you're going to have the right people, the right opportunities, the networking, everything will be there. It's just about how hard you push and how willing you are to create the change. One of the things I feel is that you need to pull yourself out of, it's almost like a suck. It's like an energy suck. It's like I can't get you out of there. Okay. So if you've been doing something for too long, okay, whether it's like under a certain employer, a position, both, it's like, you gotta get out before you can really discover, explore, and embrace other potential positions for you that really allow for networking to occur, and it allows for you to understand more of what you're really called to do. So sometimes when you're in a brand new position, the energy is really flowing and we have bigger ideas about where we're meant to be. More opportunities can start coming in all of a sudden. If you had stagnancy for, 5 years, 15 years somewhere else, you could be somewhere brand new. And all of a sudden, all these opportunities, you're like, oh my God, that didn't happen in the entire time I was in the last situation. That's crazy. So I think that you ultimately want to be doing something more managerial, business ownership. You're in a position of power. You're able to really successfully run a bunch of different moving parts simultaneously. So multitasking is a strong skill for you. I think that you're looking also at bringing in more for the next 5 years. It would also be like more contracts or clients or partnerships. Okay. So when we're pulling the symbol of you pulling people toward you, you're pulling in long-term work opportunities. So let's just use the example again of these being contracts. This would be contract that would last many, many years and or could also lead into other projects, for example. All right. So trajectory, long-term trajectory on these things. And I like this for you because the most important thing is that your creativity is always being sparked. This doesn't work well for you when you stay in one place for extended periods of time. So when you start to notice that you're getting drained, that you feel unfulfilled, that it's like Groundhog Day, every day is the same day. You're turning into like Eeyore energetically. You're trying to keep a positive face on, but nothing is fixing this. It's a sign that it's time for you to leave or tweak it and evolve in another direction. Okay. So again, for you, it's really important you can tap into your creativity and have a say in the way things get done. All right. So yeah, definitely a lot of change, but two major moves, both having to come directly from you. So it's not going to fall in your lap that way. All right. Thank you, Teresa, for your question. We are going to move on to another one. This is from a Nicole Whitehead. This is a $10 general reading. All right. So Nicole, and what do we have for Nicole? This is an important time for you to be speaking, communicating your truth. It's an important time for you to gauge whether or not that's being heard. So we want to make sure that once we've spoken our truth, change occurs. And if it doesn't, go back to the drawing board. Say it again, say it to somebody else, say it at a different time. Whatever has to happen, happens. But if it doesn't again, you're setting boundaries. Sometimes those boundaries are about, how do I want to say this? Sometimes those boundaries are walking away, or it's creating something brand new. It could feel sometimes for you like having to sort of cut off a limb to get free. You know what I mean? So be it. But I think that what's also important is that if you're dealing with children or you're dealing with people you sort of mentor over, or you oversee, like say you're a manager, any of these categories could be affecting you, where they're coming to you with really obvious, it feels like questions. And, sometimes we feel obligated, or you are obligated. So you feel it and you technically are. You're obligated to direct, you're obligated to repeat yourself, you're obligated to give that little extra energy and time and attention. And I think what is happening for you for a while is that you're saying not now, or not ever, or not at all, not anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. So hold other people accountable. Start teaching others that they need to do for themselves and become more resourceful, that they need to increase their integrity and build character. And if that means you sit and you stew in it, or you fall and you trip or whatever, that's fine. Go ahead and do that, and then learn from that. And good luck with that. But it's not your problem. So aside from just not enabling or overreaching, you are also being very mindful that you're not thinking about it. So here's a good example. If you say no to someone and then it bothers you when you have a nightmare about it, and you could, barely fall asleep at night because you were thinking about it, and okay, then you didn't really say no. You overtly said no, right? And you covertly are fixing it. You're fixing it. You're worried about it. All right. So boundaries within your own internal dialogue as well. It looks like ultimately what's going on is a period of time where you're getting these things back in order, so that you can conserve your energy and start focusing more on what's going on in your own life contract. Your life contract for the next month is going to be, I'm hearing rapid fire. So a lot of evolution, a lot of expansion, a lot of growth. Okay. A lot of leveling up for you, leveling up opportunities, but you've got to grab at them. Okay. You have to have the energy to take them. And so I like to say new level, new devil. Every time we level up, we get attacked in ways that can prevent it from happening. Check out on my YouTube channel at Ask Ivy, check out a class called Fighting the Dark, Part 1 and Part 2. Has anyone watched this yet? If you haven't, check it out. New level, new devil, 5 different means of attack. I think once you get past that, you're going to be looking more in this second month out at some significant benefits coming in that really energize you, make you very happy and excited about your future. Okay. This could also be affecting you in like career and your ability to communicate and be seen and heard in a different way than what you have in the past. Awesome. Love the development. All right. Thanks so much. We have a Dave on here saying we love Tristan. We do love Tristan. Is Tristan here? I don't know. Okay, we'll get to it, I guess. Yeah. All right. Tristan is one of my students, and he's done some video work for me. He's just an awesome all-around guy. All right. So we have a question here from a Rachel VG. This is a $10 question. And Rachel VG says, what's going on with my job or my health in 2024? Okay, so job or health in 2024 for Rachel. Let's go with job first. I have somebody coming in who's trying to shut you down. This could be a male. This could also be someone in a position of authority, or even 2 people, 1 male, 1 female. And when they come in, it's like they're shutting you down through, I don't know if it's procedure, or if it's through stupid emails, or it's through like overreaching project management. It's almost like these are the rules. It's like, in these rules are stupid. They're unnecessary. They're unproductive. It's counterintuitive. I don't understand. It's like sometimes we're creating something out of nothing. We're creating problems because I don't know if it's like busy work. They get paid extra to do this junk. But anyways, there's this sense of you feeling restricted, and also just feeling irritated, just feeling like annoyed. Like, I swear to God, this happens one more time while I'm quitting this job. You know what I mean? So whatever happens in this area, and you may be discovering that through this, what are you supposed to be learning? What's the bigger picture? Anytime something happens, you want to say, okay, what's the lesson? Why is it happening? Okay. What does this tell you about what you really want to do with your career? What does it tell you? It's pretty clear. All right. So you want more freedom, you want more liberty to maybe set your schedule or with the projects you take on or how you do it. Um, is there also something from your past that you need to resurrect? Do you want to take down off the shelf and blow the dust off of it and bring it back? It could also be some training or education or certifications even from your past that you haven't fully utilized, but you've been thinking about a lot or you want to expand upon. And these are areas where you ignite, you really light on fire, you're working from some fire in the belly. And when you're doing that, the prosperity just really rolls in and the universe takes care of all the fine details for you. All right. So I think that one of the things also going on with that is that your higher mind is sort of attracting to you the right people, right? So you want to be in a work environment that is no nonsense. Again, you're in more of a position of leadership. There's more of a sense of community and camaraderie. And it's like, even if you have bosses or, other managers or whatever, everyone's really on the same page, and everyone's like less is more. It's like, how can we work smarter, not harder? And create a peaceful, healthy environment. So this is all new. I feel like it would all be new. In regards to your health in 2024, so Rachel, health 2024, I feel like some circumstances that have been holding you back a little bit in regards to your health are going to be dissipating. I cannot prescribe or diagnose, but it's almost like we're pulling circumstances out of, it may have also been affecting your mobility because it's coming out of your left knee. And so that is a symbol of your work and money, ironically. Okay. You knew how to ask this question. The left knee, your right knee too, but that's your work and money. So it could be affecting you there, even like your health in some way could have been affecting that area. But when I see it being pulled out and then just sort of like evaporating, right? It suggests that whatever you're doing is right. You're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep exploring, how can I be more proactive with my health and allow for the removal of some of these obstacles to increase your energy and help with the healing process in general moving forward. Okay, I feel good about that. All right. Thank you so much for your question, Rachel. We're going to move on to another one here from a Cat Kelly. Okay. Cat Kelly asks a $10 question. And she wants to know, can you tell me what my gifts are at this time? Okay. So this is an intuitive ability assessment. And if you guys want to know the same thing, you have the same question for yourself, you could book an intuitive ability assessment anytime on my website. You go to IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com, you click on it, and you're automatically going to get a voice clip with me explaining what you have going on. You gift it to someone else for the holidays. People love this one. Love it, love it. All right, so Kat Kelly, intuitive ability assessment. Well, you have a lot of mediumship going on, and a lot of that is hereditary. You also have level 3-4 empathic ability going on. A lot of that is hereditary. Mediumship coming from mom's side of the family, empathic ability coming from dad's bloodline. So when we put the two of these together, you could very well be giving like readings to people that are very healing. You could be doing medical intuitive work where maybe you convert it in a combination with something like Reiki or some other form of energy work, and you channel spirits from the other side. You're also very skilled in paranormal work because paranormal activity has been following you your entire life. So you may reach points where you're like, no, thank you. Okay. Or no more of that. Or like you're comfortable entertaining it, but only to a degree and only in very specific ways. But when you have this, you have it. And there are only so many people in our field that are really willing to do the dirty work. You got to get your hands dirty and are strong enough to actually do it. And I think you could be one of these. So, be careful, but working with paranormal problems. Okay. So we're talking exorcisms. We're talking paranormal attachments. We're talking haunted houses. So it's usually the people that are haunted, as you know. Okay. Not the houses, but sometimes it's both. So what do we do about that? Well, you have a lot of options. You'll be looking at this for the next 3 years. And you'll be looking for the next probably year at what else you may want to do with this energy work, this healing ability. So that level 3-4 empathic ability really coming through. At this point, some of the other things you're really skilled in is some clairvoyance, so psychic ability and ability to predict the past, the present, the future with accuracy without having any information. And this really lines up very nicely with some of the telepathy that you have coming through due to the empathic ability. All right. So there's a class up on my website called Empathic Awareness that you're definitely going to want to check out. I teach this at universities. I train therapists in this. You get teacher credits for taking this. Okay. So Ivy Rivera, empathiceducator.com. If you understand what's going on with the different levels of empathic ability for yourself, you are going to find that when you hit that third and fourth level, telepathy set in. And when that gets activated, and you're able to hear other people's thoughts, you have to really start asking yourself how you can use that in a meaningful way so that it's not running you, you're running it, right? It's not making you paranoid. You're deciding when you're going to use it for prosperity or for the highest and best good. I think that this is another area where you should be looking. All right. So definitely some abilities going on here. Love it. Love it. Have fun with it. All right. We have another question coming in here from Chris. Okay. Chris Foe. I think I'm saying that right. A $10 question. And okay. Chris with a K wants to know, will I be moving soon? What's to come in the near future? Okay. Will Chris be moving? Ooh, I feel a lot of anxiety about that. Got to calm down. And as soon as someone tells you to calm down, it gets worse, right? So you have to decide. That's a better way to say this to you. You need to decide that it's going to work out as it's supposed to, because you're doing everything you're supposed to. If you do everything you're supposed to, it will eventually work out exactly as it's supposed to. That's the law of the universe. Period. Point blank. Okay. That's it. That's all she wrote. So I think that allowing yourself to really dot the I's, cross the T's, and figure out what it is that you want in this situation is going to allow you to move, I feel like, faster. You have a grandfather who comes through here who's pretty funny. He shows you like a leopard. He said leaner, like fast and lean. I also feel like he's talking about like a leopard has spots because it like camouflages and blends into the habitat. So what can you do to sort of, it's almost like I'm stealth. I'm watching for my opportunity. It's like a cat in the grass, and I think even in tarot, you may do tarot. I don't, but if it's coming up, you would understand the symbol. A cat in the grass, not a snake in the grass, different thing. A cat in the grass is watching its prey. And it's sneaky and it can be manipulative, but let's face it, in the housing market today, okay, I don't care if you're changing apartments, you're buying, it doesn't matter. You better be. So it's this confidence that you need to have at this point that you are the cat, that grandpa's giving you info, you're being guided, you're watching, and you're attacking. Okay. You're sort of like a vulture taking what is rightfully yours. I feel good about all of that. But it does seem like you need to have a very clear understanding on what you want, because here's another thing. If you're putting out to the universe that you're just like worried or you're confused or you're burnout or whatever, the universe doesn't really know what to do. It's like waiting on a video to download and it just keeps cycling. It's a direct order to the universe that's required in order to get what you want. So be specific. I would even for you, write it down on a piece of paper if you haven't already done so. The 10 things I expect, I am claiming, not asking for, not hoping, not wishing for, not praying for. I am claiming in this situation, and put the specific timelines also on when you want it, like yesterday. What's to come in the near future for you? In regards to that question, I do wonder if you need a little extra healing, because I see again with the cats, I see animals coming up to you. Often when an animal, a stray in particular, but any animal, often when animals are coming to us, we tend to be like, oh my God, I'm like Snow White, like what am I giving off that I'm so radiant? You're giving off an energy that says I need help. Actually. Okay. And so the animals come and they're like, let me help you, because that's what they do. So there is a healing triad in the universe that is angels at the top of the tier. And then on the bottom, we have empathic humans. Then we have animals. Okay. So they're coming to give you energy. Now we don't have to wait for birds and deer and squirrels and cats, stray cats in our driveway to come. We could just like go get a massage. You can take more time to meditate on a daily basis, maybe 10 to 20-minute sessions. Do more with your eating and exercise habits, especially walking. Motion meditation is good for you. Okay. All right. Good luck with all of that, Chris. Thank you. Got some heavy questions coming in. I was wondering how long that was going to take. All right. So we have one from a Tamika. This is a $5 question. And this is not the one I was referring to as being heavy, but maybe it is. I don't know. Let's find out. What is going on with me in PT? Is that physical therapy, or is that, I feel like this is a person? I'm going to answer understanding this as being a person. And if I'm incorrect, you just let me know in the comments and I'll fix it. So what is going on with you in PT? So I see this person, okay, in your life, and this is over here to the right side, which suggests the future. And this means that there is still some relationship dynamics that are going to be worked out, or in this case, almost like revealed in the future. I want to say between, could it be 2 to 3 days? It could. I was going to say like 2 to 3 weeks. So this person seems to be sort of coming out from behind a closet. And I was under the impression that they were hiding. And I think that, first of all, it's not your job to convince anyone to come out of the closet or to stop hiding or to give you more or to properly communicate or to up their skills in regards to intimacy. None of that. None of that. So think of every relationship as like a ping pong game. You hit the ball over, they hit the ball back. You hit the ball over. Should it go off the table on their side? That's it. You don't get another ball. You don't holler to them to go pick it up. You walk away. The game is over, because it should have never been a game that took place from the get-go if they weren't intending to play right or play nice. So I think that there is where you need to start in regards to this person. Understanding that you should never overreach in those areas, because it's an automatic red flag that they don't know how to communicate, that they're not good at building a connection, that they're not good at maintaining a connection. You don't want that to start happening when it really counts in a big way, or you've invested, okay, and you're waiting on your payout. I think that, the other thing that's really going on here is that you may be very, very smart. I sometimes wonder if this person is either threatened by you, intimidated by you, or a little jealous of you sometimes. Like sometimes when you're smarter than someone else, you're also funnier than someone else. You're also threatening to someone else, okay, because they wonder what's going on up there, because they could never possibly keep up with you. So you could just read as a problem. But you're just being you, and I think you need to be appreciated for what you are. So sometimes we don't always see this going here. What I do see working sometimes in this relationship is a lot of emotional support and good communication, in that this person may be like an active listener sometimes, or able to hold space and be like, share with me, what is it? Okay. So sometimes that's working well. All right. Thank you for your question. That was a Tamika. We're going to move on to another question here. From another one from Kat Kelly, or I don't know. Did we get to this one? This could be a double. So Kat Kelly, all right, says, can you tell me about my guides? Thank you so much. OMG. Okay. You're very welcome. So your guides, and this is for everyone. I have a class up on the website. It is a required part of the psychic mediumship course, but you can get it as an individual class. It's called Meet Your Guides, and I'll introduce you to all 5 of your guides. Everyone has 5. So what I think is, going on with your guides that you may not know, I don't want to tell you anything I think that your relationship guide has really been stepping up lately. So if lately you've been saying, there's someone kind of knock it off, if you feel like someone's been stepping up in your face, especially at night, when you're dozing off, when you're waking up, when the veil is lifted between the worlds, especially, or you're hearing your name called, this could very well be your relationship guide. Your relationship guide, as well as your work guide, has been, they've both been showing up also in your dreams quite a lot. So through astral travel or circumstances where you feel like you're working. I talk in the class about this. You're working with them a lot. It can sometimes feel like you're working for them, but it's really more like having a meeting, delegating out, deciding who's doing what, lot, they oversee your work, but there's that whole system going on with you a lot lately, the last 3 to 4 months. This will continue for about 2 to 6 more months. And I think it depends a lot on the choices you make. Is it going to be quick and we can wrap this up and get on to something else, or is it going to take the full 6 months? We'll see. But with your relationship guide in particular, there's a lot happening there because you're seeing things clearly. So if you feel as though you've been in some relationships that were a little cloudy, foggy, I'm not sure, you're going to be very quick at identifying either who these people really are. If there were to be anything that they were hiding, or if they were wearing a mask, or it just hasn't been revealed yet, that's going to be coming up in the next couple months. But I also feel like you may have a shift in the way you see certain relationships, including with yourself. So all relationship dynamics, where you may have decided that something was one way and you weren't being open-minded enough. We weren't being fluid enough. Okay. You have to always be open with your relationships, open to seeing people with nuance and duality and yin yang. Okay. There's a whole bunch going on there. Here's another thing. Sometimes, and I feel like I'm supposed to give this message out to everyone, sometimes it's not that you missed something. Sometimes it is that someone changed. And that is a hard pill to swallow. So in the event, and I'm not saying this is what you're going to be experiencing, Kat, but you may be looking back at memories of where this happened, or seeing it clearly for the first time when it had actually happened in your past, you putting the pieces of the puzzle together, okay? Making sure you handle people differently in the future. But witnessing something like that, seeing someone completely change, they went from this person to this person. And when they changed, unfortunately, they were no longer allowed to go on your journey anymore. These are things you're going to be processing for a while. And that's what your guides are working with you on. I would also pay attention to, as these thoughts pop in, you're going to be hearing more from those guides. So who works with you on your relationships? Well, your relationship guide. This feels like male energy to me, but take it how it resonates. I never try to dictate this. It's important for you to know all of their pieces of ID. That's what the class is for. You get that information directly from them. And I would also, expect to be hearing more from your joy guide, who watches over your spiritual development, your mental and emotional well-being. And this one may come through in a more feminine way, and you may be experiencing this one more on your left side, in your left ear, through warmth and tingling on that side. But that'll be, I want to say, probably for the next 2 weeks to 2 months. Okay, thank you so much for that question, Kat. So important for all of us to know our guides. I know I'm like a broken record with this, but sit with your guides every morning with your cup of coffee, your cup of tea for 10 to 20 minutes and ask these 3 things. What do I need to be working on today? What pitfalls can I avoid today? And how can I be of service? All right, we have another one coming in here from a Genevieve. This is from TikTok. This is a $10 question. And Genevieve wants to know, is my war going to end that I have been going through? Okay. I don't think it's going to end in the way that you think it's going to end. I think it's going to sort of have a slow trickling down effect, almost like when you try to blow out candles on a birthday cake and you're like, what is this, a trick? Is this a joke? Like, why is this not, it's back? I mean, what are you, joking right now? And I think that what you're doing here is making sure it's out once and for all. But even when that happens, it's almost like you can still see a little flame and you wonder, which means technically you're holding on to it. Don't do that. Okay. And then you got the smoke, and it's really when you start to see the smoke in a certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Consistency. I don't know how we refer to smoke, but it's like thick. Okay. White. It's done. And I think that it's then that you may, it's almost like, collapsing, or like I'm at the end of a marathon, or it's like, okay, I made it, to the finish line. I'm done. I'm exhausted. It's then that you may really start to feel like you're getting some rest and the healing process is starting, but it will be a while, after that before you're really starting to relax your nervous system on a daily basis and in a meaningful enough way that, and I cannot prescribe or diagnose, but when we talk about cortisol levels, we're talking about a buildup of energy in the body that is reflective of our mental state, our spiritual state. Okay, where we are, we're depraved of peace, and it builds like that in your body, causing you can Google cortisol, a bunch of problems. I think that it's going to be a while before you start to really perfect or work on your nervous system so that the cortisol can start to go down. And I would not be surprised if you decide to talk to a therapist about all of this. And I'm not saying you should wait. I felt like you were talking to somebody. So as I'm looking out into the future, and I'm feeling more around, 9 months, but we're also looking at 5 months out from now. We see a lot of improvement with this, and some even at 2 months out from now. So again, this is a gradual process. We're moving toward it. But yeah, you have definitive deadlines on this. So that's nice to know. Those aren't going to move. Okay. Those are the destiny charted time frames on those things. So it's written in the stars. It is a guarantee. It's in your astrology, even your life contract, your numerology chart. So we can count on those markers. But I do think that if you are talking to someone like a therapist, or if you around those times have been talking to someone, if you don't feel like it's enough, maybe you need to switch out and talk to somebody else. If you feel sometimes like a therapist is more like a counselor, and not knocking counseling, but that's very nice for some people. It's not always enough if you've been through trauma. Okay. It's not going to assist you in your day to day. You need more than just a listening ear. You need someone who is actively targeting what happened and how it's affecting you, and then strategically coming up with a game plan that you can embrace, that you can utilize, that's realistic for you in the day to day. And I'm no therapist, but I've been to therapy since I was a small child, and there's a difference. Okay. So I think that you need to start gauging that. Okay. And that'll help you feel and believe and know, okay, that the war is over. All right. Thank you so much for your question, Genevieve. We're going to move on to another one here from. This is a $10, another one from a Nicole Whitehead. So we have, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so Nicole Whitehead wants to know, what are my spiritual gifts? So, and I just want to explain this to everyone. There's no such thing as a spiritual gift. Everyone is born, it's innate. Empathic ability, psychic ability, mediumistic ability. That's it. Everybody, literally, it's innate. Okay. So we have it to different degrees, and it can run in your bloodline more, than the average person sometimes, but these aren't, gifts. So what Nicole wants is an intuitive ability assessment. Okay. And she's getting a steal here. So to do this for 10 instead of buying it on the website, I don't know, maybe I need to cut you guys off here in a minute, but, also Mary, my beautiful producer, let me know when it's time for you and we need to wrap it up. Okay. That's whenever you're ready. So Nicole, intuitive ability assessment. The first thing that I'm getting with you is a lot of empathic ability in the way that you have what we call clear empathy, meaning you feel in your heart what other people are feeling emotionally. I mean, you feel it like it happened to you. You feel maybe sad, you may cry, you may even, it can reach a point where you have like drainage. Now, this can also happen with mediumship. You have like just drainage coming out of your eyes. This can also affect like the nasal cavities and things like this. But you're not even sure where it's coming from. And so it can be almost overwhelmed. I think that while you've always had this would have increased around 8 years old. So some activity going on around that time, you could look back at that, and it would have really started peaking around 12 years old. It really feels like around 24, in your 20s, you're starting to get more in touch with it and maybe block it. I don't like this. I don't like being the sensitive. I don't want to know this much. You may have also felt very much like, and I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but like you had disorders. So it's very common in my empathic awareness training. It's very common to see, and I talk about this a lot, misdiagnoses. So whether it be depression, anxiety disorders, right? OCD, ADD. And what it really is at the root, an accidental overabsorption of other people's energy, confusing you and making you think it is your own. This is why it's hard to grasp. This is why if you were ever misdiagnosed, the meds didn't work, the therapy didn't work, it came and it went, it didn't make any sense. It wasn't a fully comprehensive situation system here. Something was missing. This was missing. So when you can't really fully block it in that way, okay, the empathic awareness class trains you in how to do it appropriately. And you can't really just stay wide open and absorb it. And you can actually think you're blocking it and be absorbing at the same time. So there is a place now with your intuitive intelligence where you're being asked by your higher mind to sort of let that guard down, to figure out a better way to use this ability and to protect yourself, but also give the healing out to others in a maximum way. So this is building your ministry. This is building a following. This is people coming to you for it. And while that's always been there, I mean, we're talking like amped up, okay? New level stuff. And so I see that happening for you, or it should happen for you. I also think that in combination with this, you really want to be using your psychic ability, which is incredibly accurate, not only in discernment, but also in judgment on situations, how they're going to play out and with others. Okay. And use your mediumship abilities a little bit more than what you do, like learn the language. I think you hear them. You may get the ringing in your ears also, especially on the left side. Clairaudience is strong with you. So like your ear rings, the spirit puts a song in your head, a message in your head. But you need to toy with that a little bit more. Take that to the next level also. I think if we marry all three of these, you're going to be really unstoppable in helping a mass amount of people, okay, in almost like record time, I want to say. So it may have something to do with the times that are coming up. Also interesting. All right, do we have Christy Graham says, I love when you do this content. Awesome. I do too. And I've been doing it, 10 years, more than that now. And I know, I still love it. So that's awesome to hear. Thank you, Christy. Never, ever get sick of it. How can you get sick of spirit? What would we be without? Okay, so we have a question here from Erica Sarita on TikTok, and this is a $10 another intuitive ability assessment. Okay, you guys are making me go broke. I shouldn't have given these away. All right, don't forget I have bills to pay. All right, so 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, so Erica Sarita on TikTok, intuitive ability assessment. The first thing that comes up for you is psychic ability and on fire, but this would have already happened. So this isn't increasing now as much as it has in the last 2 years, but in particular, 3 to 4 months, you had an increase. This suggests to me you just went through something. Okay. So you're going through a level up in general. You could have also had some changes in your circumstances that triggered it. With it being on fire, I think you need to be asking, what do I want to be using it for? If people come to you and they want advice, say, pay me for that. Okay. Not obviously like your friends and stuff, but like random people who, just want to talk to you or talk at you. We need an exchange. You need to protect your energy. So there should always be some type of exchange, a trade, a financial donation, feedback. I mean, whatever it is. Okay. But you are at a point where you could be doing that. And I think you really should be doing that. I also think you need to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. And so when people come to you and they're like, tell me about this, or tell me what's going to happen with this, or is this the right person, or what will be the turnout with this? Am I getting this job? Whatever it is. I think what's really important for you with your psychic ability is not to become double-minded, not to overthink it, not to look for something more. Here's what I say to my clients in my readings a lot. I'm not going to color this. And it means exactly what it sounds like. I'm not going to color this. I'm going to drop whatever information I'm getting and I'm going to leave it right there for you. Okay. If it means 2 or 3 or 4 things to that person, so be it. They'll understand it. It is never for you to understand what you're saying, what you're talking about. So if you could just learn how to remove your logic left side of the brain, your logical side, from the intuitive right side of your mind, you'd be gold. All right. So it's channeling is about giving info without twisting the info or judging the info. Okay. So this is important for you. I also think that one of the other things you have going on is mediumistic ability. And this is coming from your roots. So we have some on dad's side of the family, but we also have some strong players on mom's side of the family, grandmothers and one grandfather who would have been very mediumistic. Now, this can also have led to, if you look back at your family, especially with the males, if it led to any type of mental illness or misdiagnoses there, that can happen. But I think that with you, you're loving it. I mean, you're embracing it. You're not trying to shut it out or tune it out. You're not afraid of it. I think that if you were to allow for more of your ancestral healing in regards to this, and if you even did like some kind of I don't know if you have this booked or if you just are debating on it at this point, but it's almost like I'm going to go through an ancestral healing ceremony, or I'm doing some kind of a ceremony or like an ayahuasca thing, or and I don't encourage necessarily drug use, but I think that there could be some ceremonies that you partake in that really help you to reconnect to your ancestral line and roots and the mediumship there. Meaning, how am I supposed to use this? Okay, start asking that question in a more serious way, and they're going to tell you. All right, good luck with all of that. Awesome. Thank you, Erica. All right, we have another one. All right, Karen's here. Karen says, I finally caught alive. Awesome. And we have another one here from a Katika. This is on TikTok. Hi, Katika. $10. 31. All right, so Katika on TikTok wants to know, why am I not dreaming? Let me take a peek. Looks like something stressed you out. I don't want to get too personal. I can't prescribe a diagnosis. You may also be urinating a lot, okay? And I don't want to sound like your mom or your therapist, but like if you're peeing a lot and you're not dreaming, and for you even too, if you're getting like headaches, like stress headaches or tension headaches, and even like at the top of your shoulders, up in your neck, we got a little bit of a problem here. You need to process things. And so there's this tension, this buildup that is manifesting as physical reactions. And I think that the dreaming for you is blocked. I have a class up on the website called Dreams. It's a 2-hour training, and it'll teach you how to unblock. When we have blocked dreaming, it's because something happened in our day-to-day life that we simply could not process. It was too much. It was overwhelming. And because we naturally, all humans do, when we sleep, process the unfinished business from our day-to-day lifestyle through what we call subconscious dreaming, we can find that even through the act of trying to process that information while we're asleep, it becomes so stressful that we start having nightmares. And because of the nightmares or the night terrors and the stress dreaming, as I like to call it, we decide, you know what, forget it. This isn't working either. And we block. And now we have no dreaming that we recall. So you are essentially blocking it out during the day. And now you are even blocking it out at night, which was sort of your saving grace. All right. And at this point, what you have to do is remove the block. If you purchase the class for yourself, again, I'll walk you through all of that. But I would say, let me try to break it down for you here quick. Also, first of all, do what I said. Okay, we got to sort of calm down and deal with some of that stress. You need to look back at when it started happening, meaning when you stopped remembering. And you need to look at what went on in your life around that time and pinpoint it. I think you already know. I think you know now. I think it's still around. Okay. You need to then allow yourself, while you're awake and you feel more in control, you're in a position of power. Okay. I'm making a choice to do this, because at night when you're dreaming, you could feel like you're susceptible to it, like you're a victim, like it's taking you for a ride. Okay. So you need to do this while you're awake. You need to process what went on during that time. And I would call in your protector guide. I would also call in your joy guide, who watches over your mental and emotional well-being. And I would ask them in a maybe 15 to 20 minute quiet sit down, like a meditation. Don't exceed that amount of time. Ask them to help you process. How can you heal from it? If you need therapy is a great way to start unblocking as well. But the most important thing for you to do, and I get into this a lot in the class, is to use a lucid dreaming technique where you decide that you are going to confront whatever it is that's coming up in the sleep state that is sort of haunting you, right, in your life that needs to be addressed. And so you do this while you're still technically awake, but it's right at that point where you're dozing off. And the veil is getting lifted between the worlds. Okay. So as you're dozing off, you may want to turn off, like if you have soundscapes or something on where there are no words, that's fine. But if you fall asleep to a TV, get rid of that. If you fall asleep to like music or noise or whatever, get rid of all of that. We don't want any influence. So as you're dozing off, you're saying, I am going to confront this. I am making a choice right now that I'm going to confront this thing. And what happens when you're using lucid dreaming techniques is that whatever you're thinking about deliberately before you doze off, you go into that energy. All right. So you have an upper hand. Lucid dreaming is controlling your dreaming, but you really get skilled at that, not by doing it while you're asleep, doing it while you're awake. Okay. So let's start with those things and see how it goes. Keep me posted. Keep us posted. Love it. All right. Do we have another one? Thank you, Katika, for your question. We have another one from Erica Sarita. Okay. On TikTok. And this is a $5 question. Okay. So Erica says, my dreams are quite lucid. Are they prophetic? No. So when we talk about, so let's break down the dreams class a little bit more here. There is a free version of this too up here on my YouTube at Ask Ivy. But when we talk about prophetic dreaming, we're talking about what I call vision dreams. Vision dreams are often about the collective, like apocalyptic type dreams, or, a lot of us had a dream about 9/11 happening. That's how I got out. I got out with 9 days to spare. My ex worked in both towers. No one lived off either floor. It was horrible. So prophetic dreaming is not the same. Prophetic dreaming is knowing that something is going to happen. You may know when it's going to happen. You may know how it's going to happen. And you cannot escape it, because like with my 9/11 visions, for example, they started at night, but then because I wasn't moving out of New York City fast enough, they started happening during the day, and I would go into trance, and I didn't even know where I was. I would go into trance and see it, right? So the urgency will increase if you're not taking action. Vision dreams will also last as though they are happening in real time, in your memory, in your thoughts, and they come back constantly, almost like deja vus. Anyone ever have you ever have a deja vu? You're like, this feels like it's actually happening, right? Or timelines come together, because time travel is super possible. Timelines come together and it's like, I'm in it. Okay. That was a vision. That was a prophecy. What you're probably talking about here with lucid dreaming is an ability to control things more. So that would be like, if you are dozing off and you say, I want to dream that I am rolling around with a baby elephant, and, we're in a pool of water and we're playing ball, and, we're having a great time. And then that like happens, okay, in your dream. That's wild, right? But you did that. You created that. It can also be a situation where you're creating movement that defies certain laws of like either the universe or like the earth plane, at the very least, like gravity. So you've probably never had a day in your life where you flew, I'm assuming, right? Without being on a plane or a bird, and all of a sudden you're flying. You're not only maybe flying, but you're controlling it so much that you can like bounce and decide when you do it. So it's like, I'm bouncing again. I want to go higher. And you say like, you can hear yourself. You're saying, next time I bounce, I'm going to go up 10 times higher than I did on the last bounce, and 10 times higher. So you can decide to confront things. You can decide to control things. You can do all types of, I am off on such a tangent. I lost track of time. I'm sorry, guys. I will literally talk about this like forever. Also, if you guys, I forgot to say at the beginning, if you have not gotten on my early bird waitlist for my symbology book, which is all about dream analysis, okay? It's all about mediumship, interpretation of the signs, the symbols around you, from numerology to astrology to colors, animals, okay? It's everything. Get on the early bird waitlist. Thank you. Mary just popped it up here on YouTube. If you cannot see that, you're going to go to Rev, R-E-V, okay? And my name, Rev Ivy Rivera at Yahoo. And you're just going to say, add me, and we'll get you added to the symbology book. I'm hoping to publish by the end of winter, but I'm a little behind schedule. All right. So thank you so much for that question. That was a great question. Do we have anything else coming in here? I see we have quite a few. Manny says, right, thank you. I don't know if he's talking to me or somebody else. Oh, Civil War. Manny says, my brother-in-law. Okay. Had a dream we were in a civil war. Together. Past life regression, probably. Okay, interesting. We have another question coming in here from Jessica Murphy. This is a $10 question. And she says general, just any general guidance. Okay, all right, general guidance for Jessica Murphy. I feel like it's really important for you to open up some files. And this is coming up for the next, I want to say 2 to 4 months, but it's really going to be a big change between the 3rd and the 4th month out from now. So when you were in the 4th month out from now, you're going to be looking back even as early as the 3rd month previous. You're going to be saying, wow, this is unidentifiable. You know, things have changed so much. Even I have changed so much. I don't even recognize myself. So quite a lot of circumstances changing in that time. But to get to that point, what we really need to see is that you're sort of opening up these old files. You do have a gentleman watching over you who I feel is grandfather energy, smoking a cigar. He's actually quite tall, would have had brown hair, went salt and pepper, a little bit of a belly on him, but he's really just kind of a bigger guy. And he's funny. I mean, intellectual humor, dry humor, sarcasm. I don't know. Probably made a few people cry in his day, right? Just kind of picking on them, but he's not mean. He's just intelligent enough to know how things should go. And when people are maybe acting like dum-dums, he didn't hesitate to point that out and was like, good, I hope that helps you. Okay. Because you should be thinking more. And I think that what he's trying to say to you here is that, he is helping you with these, your personalities are very much the same. And so you need to apply that part of your personality to this aspect of your life. When we open these files and we look a little bit deeper, it's like, what's been missed? What do I need to go back on? What do I need to review? What has been put up on a shelf? This is sort of like my skeletons in the closet, stuff swept under a carpet, things put up on a shelf collecting dust message. It's in the ballpark of the same thing. Not necessarily where this is causing a lot of problems, but it could hold you back on prosperity. Okay. So we want to examine what more you've been wanting in your life, but also any areas where things need to be like maybe renegotiated or, again, looked over. He will be guiding and assisting you in this process. But I think really what's happening here is that you want to create some change in your day-to-day lifestyle, in your work. And this would be an important time. If I haven't already done a life contract reading on you, this would be an important time to book, or you don't want to do it with me, maybe go to Christina Del Rey, our astrologer. You can go to Ivy Ceiling Call Center, book with her through that. But I would look at your work contract aspect of your life contract in your astrology. And I would be really defining once and for all what it is that you came here to do, because you're ready to walk it out. And I would be removing anything that wastes your energy. So if you find yourself working for people, right, in the corporate, or I have an employer and it just, so much of your energy goes to what they need or what the system wants. It's like you're part of the grind in the machine. It's not fulfilling. And even though technically you're in a field that sounds like it's healing or it's like teaching people or it should be beneficial, it's not. And if it's not, then it's not. And so how can you actually walk out, the healing and the activity that you want to, I'm hearing, participate in and provide, okay, but also in a creative way, out to the world. And so that's what needs to happen. And because it's so destiny charted for you, it should be pretty easy. I'm not saying it's going to seem that way or feel that way. Change is always difficult for a human being. But what aspects of your personality can you embrace that really love that kind of change? Okay. And you have some for sure. Okay. And having some of his blood in you helps a lot because he's hilarious. Laugh it off. Do what you got to do. Okay, get it done. Get it done. Get her done. All right. So thank you so much, Jessica, for your question. We have another one coming in here from a Manny. This is a $10 question. Manny wants to know, question about past life with my brother-in-law during the Civil War. Okay, based on a dream we had. Yeah, so this is really interesting because I saw your question in the feed, and that was 100% that's what it is. This is a great example of what it is to have a past life flashback while you're asleep. They can happen while you're awake as well. And once you start having them, you'll have them all the time. Once you're around that person or you finally meet that person you had a past life with, they'll also start coming back for that other person, as we see happening here. But they could happen more frequently as your relationship changes and evolves. So I almost think of a past life as like being on a similar timeline. Again, we could do time travel. So you can go back there. That's what the flashback is, obviously. But you could also go into the future. So you could see yourselves as different people in the future and understand it that way. But I also like to think of it as like almost like two lives, two timelines playing out simultaneously, right? And they do tend to be in alignment, very much so. So, you and your brother-in-law could, for example, be going through something in this life and you're having a flashback to those specific conditions on that same day, right? In that past life where something that created a very similar energy happened in a totally different way, obviously. And I think that the benefit to this is because you don't really have a specific question. You're just saying like, I don't know, anything on the Civil War based on a dream that he had. I think the benefit to something like this is understanding that what we have here is a soul tribe situation. So you have contracts with people for one of three reasons. It's a soul tribe member, it's a soul mate, or it's a karmic partnership. It's a karmic contract. And sometimes they can mix and match, but not a lot. So what we have here is an opportunity for the two of you to look at what work it is that you could do together in this life, knowing that you're a team. Soul tribe members are all about teamwork. So are soulmates. That's why soulmate can be like your dog. It could also be like a sibling. Rarely are they romantic, but when they are, that's amazing too. Okay. But they are actually about like a working contract. And so in the working contract, you want to understand what is his role, what is your role, what's the point, like what are we supposed to be accomplishing together? And it becomes very obvious how you can assist each other. It is absolutely mutual. It does not have to be in the same way, but it's absolutely mutual. So there's a ton of benefit to understanding this and to also talking to your Akashic record guides. So your Akashic record guide, and again, you guys can always take the Meet Your Guides class and meet all 5 of your guides. Okay, it's up on the website. But your Akashic record guide is the one who oversees all of your past lives. And if he were to have a 20-minute session, let's say, with his Akashic, and you were also, you could ask your Akashics to show you what it is that you guys did together and how it applies to this life. Okay, so your Akashic can break it down real quick and easy for you guys. I love that. So fun. Okay, do we have another one coming in here? Thank you for that question. All right, we have another one from a Teresa H. This is a $10 question. Any messages from my mother, Sally, about my brother, Tim? Okay, let's see what's going on with that. Teresa. Well, she's definitely ringing my ear. Okay, any messages from your mother about your brother, Tim? Tim. When she comes in, first of all, if she gets to, we have to have a pairing, which means you have to have it as well and actually listen to it. Okay. Her choice of communication is clairaudience. So you may get a ringing in your ears, like an annoying tinnitus. If it's not tinnitus, it could feel like a pressure, like a seashell is up to your ear. She's actually using my right side, which is also symbolic of psychic ability. So she's talking about for you. Your psychic ability may be kicking in regards to Tim. And what that can mean is that, after she rings your ear, she puts thoughts in your head, answers in your head, solutions in your head, songs in your head. So be listening for this. It does increase in the bathroom. The native belief is that the porcelain, the earth, the water, and the mirrors are all conductors of communication with the other side, and that's accurate. So expect that. She's also visiting you in some dreams too, where she'll be talking about this specifically. The thing with Tim is that there's really nothing that you can do. So there's this sense of like washing your hands of it. And I think what she's really talking about is you being in a state of detachment. So we have to do this sometimes with people. We can love people. We can, want to reach out to people. We can want to do more in the situation or the relationship, but there is a strong dividing line that is permanently set in regards to boundaries, that says never cross this line or you're overreaching. You're going to get negative karmic kickback. You're worrying. You're creating more problems than good. You are not to step over this because this is your path and you need to stay in your lane, period, point blank. Okay. In the same way that a lot of people don't know how to do this with minding their own business. Okay. You need to treat it like that. You need to be like, look, I got to mind my own business. I could do what I can do. I could have good intentions and I can assist, but I can't step over that line and make it as though it is my affair or that Tim is my business. And I think that in the future, what she says is that you're going to be feeling more love in regards to him. You're going to be feeling more like comfort and support and like having a better understanding and a general sense of peace about this whole situation. Because some new information is coming to the surface. And so right now what you have to deal with is not a whole heck of a lot. It's sort of like things are stuck or like we're in a waiting place. It kind of feels that way. And, when that happens, you take it as far as you can and you just sort of have to, let go on that. But I think that with this movement coming in with these changes and circumstances, it's like you're getting the rest of the pieces of the puzzle. And so it's also going to sort of click for you. She says it's like comprehensive. It's like logical. It's going to start making more sense why and how things are. Okay. And she's helping. She's helping with everything in the meantime. Like she says, like, this is my job. This is my job, to handle. But even she can only do so much. All right. So what Tim has going on is a lot of free will. That is for sure. Okay. But I feel it working out. It's exactly where it's supposed to be right now. And, it's going to work out accordingly. We are at time. Okay. So you guys, we are going to wrap this Ask Ivy episode up. If you want to become a member here on YouTube, you get an exclusive once a month free Ask Ivy. You also get your monthly horoscopes. You get an email reading once a month. You get weekly spirit messages, a free mini class once a month, all kinds of things. And then when I do these live shows, your questions go right to the top. So feel free to go onto YouTube at Ask Ivy and hit the join button to see your options for becoming a member. Also, if you guys didn't already do so, please drop a comment. It helps me out in the algorithm, and give this video a thumbs up. I will see you guys soon. But in the meantime, if you need to book a reading with me, go to IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com. Thanks so much. Have a great night. Thanks, Mary. Thank you, Spirit.